Hey everybody, KMO here with another Out of My Head video. The dental prosthetic has gone back to the lab. They just couldn't get it to sit in my mouth. So, I just won't say machine or cheese. This will be a short one. I often say that, but I think tonight it'll be the fact. I had posted a Financial Times story to a small MeWe group, and it was about Hunter Biden and how he says that he's willing to give up some of the filthy lucre that comes rolling into him from overseas in light of his being the son of the former vice president and possibly future president, although that seems extremely unlikely to more and more people. And somebody who has been posting very good comments to the various things that I do online for many years, but who I think would prefer to remain anonymous, wrote the following. One thing the anarchists of the past, present anarchists are too weird for me to comment on, got right was the sort of quasi-criminal nature of the state and those connected to state power. If you or I did these things, whether they be trips with underage girls a la Epstein, feather bedding with fake jobs in foreign corporations people wouldn't even call corruption, they'd call us criminals. Whether this can ever be reformed is an open question. Traditionally, the anarchist answer was no. States and state-like institutions always involve what is essentially criminal behavior. I'm not an anarchist, I'm a communist, so I tend to think of the state and criminality itself as a terrain to be navigated and occasionally used for political purposes. That said, I'm increasingly unsure about this. Biden, his son, Trump, Clinton, Epstein are all just the latest windows into this very ugly and very real world. I don't have a whole lot to say to that, really, other than, yeah. You know, I've been listening to NPR today, listened to it probably for a couple hours. I'd say, 1 hour of it, it must have been more than a couple hours, because 1 hour of it was, what's his name? Mia Farrow's son, who wrote the book on Me Too. He was on, one of the hour-long talk shows, and I listened to all of that. But in the, the magazine, like All Things Considered style, I was listening on NPR One, which is an app, so it's just giving me a mix of things. But in, the shorter pieces, I would say 3/5 of them were about Trump. And in every single one of them, if there was any mention of Joe Biden or Ukraine, and any mention of Trump trying to pressure the Ukrainian president to dig up dirt on Joe Biden, they would always tell you, they'd always state it such that the idea that Joe Biden or his son did anything wrong or questionable, they used various ways to describe it. At one point they said it was a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory that while Joe Biden was president, his son, Hunter Biden, while in rehab for his crack addiction, was also getting paid $50,000 a month to sit on the board of a Ukrainian gas company. And this Ukrainian gas company, looking to basically, pimp their association with Hunter Biden, put his picture on the front of their webpage. They were just advertising, look, we are in business with the vice president's son. Even though he's not actually physically present or giving us any particular advice because he's in rehab for crack. It's not a conspiracy theory. These are facts. These are unequivocal, undisputed facts. It's not a conspiracy theory. I guess the conspiracy theory is that, what? Where does conspiracy enter into this, NPR? That was just one example of how, in reporting the facts, they were also telling you, even in very short segments, telling you how you are supposed to incorporate these facts into your world. They do not trust individuals to decide what information means, to decide which pieces of information hook up to other pieces of information. They take a piece of information, they see the various ways that it might connect up to other things, and they shave off, potential places where one piece of information might stick to another. Or, they block up a hole where two pieces of information might have clicked in together. Or they just bend the whole thing so that it just can't fit with anything except the bespoke pieces that they're going to present with it. I am a lifelong listener to NPR. So much of what I was trying to do when I first started doing a podcast was informed by decades of listening to NPR. It's been, I don't want to say a love affair, but I've had so many shows, particularly before the rise of the web, when I was actually taking it in as radio. So many shows that were, I was going to be at home listening to a particular show. For years it was This American Life. But there were other shows, weekend shows. Just that I made a point of being in front of a radio so I could listen to those. And now, when I take in NPR, it's just like exposing myself to a virus. It's as if, for the sake of getting some information, I am just laying my brain out for whatever passing spore wants to implant itself in it. And then I have to, carefully pick through all the folds, hose it out, get out an old toothbrush and scrub out, the crinkly bits in the brain to make sure that none of the crap that I wasn't aware of is coming back into my brain, into my consciousness, along with the little pieces of information that I scored, in daring to expose my consciousness to just this vile pack of lies. I don't mind calling the New York Times a vile pack of lies. I never liked the New York Times. I would read stories in it occasionally when people directed me there, but I didn't seek it out. I didn't have favorite writers there. It doesn't bother me. The New York Times is gross. It bothers me that NPR is gross. That sucks. But they're gross. They're just gross. Okay, I will talk at you through messed up teeth again tomorrow because I won't be getting that prosthetic back for many days. Talk to you later.